Right, hello everybody, and welcome to let's anything. I'm getting too used to saying that now. Hello everyone, and welcome to ASF Behind the Scenes. We will be covering Vengeance this time. It is me, Mr. A.K.I, and it's him over there called Dr. Eggman, apparently. Not the other name. So yeah, a lot of interesting things to talk about on this one, even though it's just a little Smashdown event. But hey, it's the one before Summer Strike, and that's a big one again. So stick around. Once again, we'll be covering the whole of the event for its time, and it's about an hour and 5 minutes, give or take. So we'll be here the whole time, podcast fashion, so you can go and do your own thing as long as you can still hear us. That's the important thing, because always what's the point of having us on? Eggman, can you? What's the point of having us on? It's what you said, right? Great coverage. Okay, let's just go. Before I lose my marbles. So, vengeance, Eggman, vengeance. There's not a lot of revenge to be had, from what I remember anyway. Well, the main event was because the main event is a much hyped main event. I wanted so much hype for this event because finally we had a decent opponent for Astroth, a believable opponent, and we even had the match on Smashdown prior to this where we had Sonic versus Astroth, kind of like a pre-match, and Sonic actually won. We had Sonic win the match. Also, I'd like to point out that the beginning of this show, I hated it because I had to give the intro. Yes, you did, because the first match was me. God, that's an ugly picture. I'm glad I changed it. Did I change it? I don't even know. I don't think you have. You've just been using that picture ever since. That was much younger me and less hairy me. Probably less hairy me in the actual video as well. On the actual game. But now I'm just completely hairy. I'm just hairy. Okay, enough about your hair. God, jeez. You're hairy, we get it. So yeah, but the main event was Sonic was getting revenge for the way Astroth had treated his team, because, as we said earlier, for Judgment Day, they had earned the right to get their whatever they wanted, and Astroth kept beating them up because they wanted championship matches all the time. So Sonic was finally getting his vengeance, so to speak, and Astroth was, I guess, finally getting his because he always wanted to beat up the Sonic DX. I don't know. I'm just being. That's just an excuse for Astroth. That's probably not, but it was vengeance for Sonic. That was the original idea for the picture, actually, for Vengeance. Was I was going to have a picture of Sonic, and it'd have the V Vengeance logo in his eyeball, like as the iris. So that was going to be the original idea, and then I just found out that was going to be too complicated back then. Now, could be possible to make now. I might make it just to show people what I was originally intending. But back then it was I had limitations, as we can tell from the Vengeance logo that I stuck with in the end. It was just the circle continually repeated out. And actually I like the effect it gave off. That's actually an optical illusion, folks, the Vengeance logo, because as you notice, it slowly gets more darker as it goes out, but actually that's all red. I made it all red. And the black lines, they mix in as it goes out, and so it confuses your brain, and it makes you think it's just getting darker, but it's actually not. It's actually all red and black. So there's a bit of a what do you call it? Revelation for you. The Vengeance logo is an optical illusion. Ooh. Right. He's the one being freaky today. I'm sitting back and relaxing. Eat me. So this is our opening match, and you're calling all the shots. That's why you hate it. Yeah, I'm not. I definitely wasn't used to this. You gave me bad blood, and it was bad enough, and then you give me this, and you said you're going to be starting the show off because my match is first, and technically in the real world, you wouldn't be able to do the match and do the commentary at the same time. So we had to keep that all the time. But you were doing that for me whenever Eggman was in a match. I couldn't be on the commentary, so you had to do it. So I guess it's all fair, and I'm way more in the ring than you ever are. So I guess that's fair. Yeah. So live with it. There's ugly looking me. I hate the design for human players on this game because I don't look anything like that. I need to see if I can edit my face because I haven't even tried yet. I've just put facial hair on me, which is like real life me. Putting facial hair on me and some big load of hair on my head instead of this nice cut look I have. And yes, I've got the tattoo on my arm. Yes. Doesn't look exactly like that, but hey. It's close enough. It's the most accurate you're gonna get from this game. Because I can't be bothered to do it in the paint tool for obvious reasons. Because it's way too complicated. So I wanted an actual tattoo from the game because they look good enough. They look better than what I can do in the paint tool. If you want an indication of what the paint tool skills look like, then just check out Cyrus's shirt. So we have the robot on the line here. He's standing in the corner. So the reason we had this match was namely because I thought it'd be nice if people saw what I was like in the ring. Because actually, here's some more interesting facts coming right up. Drum roll, please. Don't look at me. Never mind. Most of the moves that I do pull off in the game, I can actually do in real life. I mean, like, safely, you know, not like proper doing them and hurting people. But, you know, I have trained to be a wrestler, well, so to speak. I mean, that's what we did at school, like after PE or something, or sports or whatever. We'd just get out the mats in the sports hall and we'd just throw each other around for a bit, you know. And, you know, I actually wanted to learn, seeing as I was a wrestling fan at that point still. So yeah, I learned most of my moves at school after we did sports, which didn't involve wrestling, and I wanted it to. So I said, "Fuck you, I'm doing wrestling." This move though is only because I was doing the joke actually. If you want this 5-knuckle shuffle move explained, I was thinking, well, most people obviously assume that I'm a boss of the company and I can't wrestle because Vince can't wrestle, clearly. He just throws some really awkward punches. So I was like, well, maybe we should have this in-joke where I have the 5-knuckle shuffle, which takes no wrestling skill to do whatsoever, just some showmanship, and give it to me because, you know, it's to portray that I can't wrestle, and you'll get the rest of the joke from there at that point. So that's why I have the 5-knuckle shuffle, to take the mick out of the person who does that move and can't wrestle. So I'm the boss and I can't wrestle, apparently. But, you know, like I said, most of the moves here I can actually pull off. So yeah, interesting facts there for you. And that was the match over and done with, because I think I was playing as me. Who else would play as me? But I just said, oh, I'll give Cyrus this victory because first and foremost, I didn't want to give Cyrus and me the platform to be popular, or hugely popular anyway. The whole idea was the robot was going to change hands, and here he is going to do this nice little spot, which actually became a rather horrible move to put people on the shelf later on, with this leg drop from the ladder that he's going to do, if I remember rightly. Here we got an F5. So the reason I did this simply is because Cyrus needed someone to be whenever he needed to make an announcement, I didn't want him to keep coming to the ring. So this was for the benefit of we can have him stand on the stage now with the robot, because of course we can't have one person standing on a stage area looking down to the ring, because that's impossible. You can't have one person in a match. So to have this will help with having Cyrus announce things from the staging area, whereas on Raw we have the big Raw screen, and if anyone remembers, I usually just put the character's face in there and then they would be talking on the big Raw screen. So we had that for Raw, but we needed something for SmackDown. So that was the idea, was to so we could give the robot to Cyrus. It gives him a bit of heat. It gives me something to do, so you can all see what I'm like and stuff. Getting out of my stupid limo with my stupid haircut. Oh, there's the end of that part. I didn't jump cut, never mind. But yeah, what was I going to say? So that match was there simply for convenience. That's why it was the opening match, because it's like, yeah, we got it out of the way now, let's do Vengeance. So Cyrus has got the robot, and now he can stand on the stage and look down at people, apparently, who are in the ring, and we just do cuts back and forth. I didn't think we utilised it that much, but we did utilise it on the on-off occasion. Like I said, it's always better to have it. And here's an early shot of Kanina, actually. And that is her, just referred to as the interviewer. I think this is actually the first time we utilised her, I believe. So this is early incarnation of Kanina here, our current ring announcer, doing an interview in the ring, because this is back when I didn't use the little training area, because it's a training area that I use for the interviews now backstage. Didn't use that because I was uncomfortable with using it. But I'm not as uncomfortable anymore, because it's kind of a nice different vibe instead. Here comes. So I was definitely trying to hype this match up. I was even building it up on the event, as we can see. Astrov comes running down with a chair. Sonic instead counters attacks and starts beating him up with a chair, and DDTing his ass on it, or his head on it, unless he's got a bum on his head. I don't know. Here he is cracking jokes. But yeah, early shot of Kanina there. She's been a great asset. Still mentioning butts. she's been a great asset for the show. That's for sure. It's like, yay, a ring announcer. It's like, now the show actually seems a bit more official than what it did previously, but that does mean 10 times more work to put into the show, because I have to keep inserting her clips into when we're doing our commentary. So we have to keep stopping doing commentary, and then we put her clip in, for the necessary clip for that stage, and then we do more commentary, and so on and so forth. Yeah, we have to keep breaking up all the time. But hey, it's all part of the show. It makes it a lot better and presentable and everything, and as you said, a lot more official looking. That we have, like, so we see members of staff that are doing different jobs. So we got commentary and we got ring announcers, and I think you've already mentioned on another video, we're going to get backstage interviewers this time, even though Kanina's been fulfilling that role. It was a bit stupid having her go back and forth, and we had to keep making the joke that she's very busy running back and forth backstage into the ring. So we've got some actual backstage interviewers, which will be debuting, I think, on the next show that we do, which starts in April. Yes, it starts in April, yeah. Just making sure everyone knows, so the hype can begin. ASF's going back full time in April, so there. And you will see them then, these backstage interviewers. I rather like, we've kind of put one in the storyline already, but that's for another time when the actual show starts. But hey, believe the hype. So yeah, the show was coming together at this point. Me and you were slightly getting just slowly more better at commentary, and the show was starting to get off with its storylines. I mean, this one here is a storyline. Technically, it wasn't very creative from a standpoint. This Manic versus Void match in the no holds barred kind of situation, but. It was basically me giving Void some purpose. I was saying he was one of the rising stars on SmackDown, as was Manic. So who's the bigger rising star? I think I actually broke the fourth wall, or break kayfabe, or whatever you want to do, and actually said that the winner of this match would get a push, verbally. But hey, that's all talking, so the actual wrestling fans, can say, hey, I know what he's talking about. Cool. I can't wait to see who wins this and who's getting a big push. Yeah, and of course, Manic ends up winning this, and he gets the big push. He gets the tag titles. He gets the rivalry with Tails. He gets the faction. He gets, that's the push. Whereas Void just becomes partners with Marzel and wins the tag titles, and that's about it. Even though I would say that's a push, I would say even now Void is actually higher elevation than Manic currently. But that's all matter of opinion. Dimension X have come the unstoppable, untouchable tag team right now when it comes to defending the belts. Yeah. Oh, actually, I remember this. God, I love this series of events. Here's me bringing out loads of weapons for this no holds barred match, and we get a consecutive row of ring bells coming out from under the ring. Terrible. Yeah, I found that a bit weird, I think. Just saying, ring bell. Here's another ring bell. How many ring bells have we got? Here's another one. Just non-stop ring bells. And then we were making the joke, I think you said it, I think you were saying Manic wants to ring Void's bells. Like, we had to go there, didn't we? Because we got 4 ring bells out in the ring in quick succession. Oh God, that was stupid. So Void's looking a little bit different from Judgment Day. I don't know what exactly is the difference. I think he might have a different design on his mask. I think that's the thing I changed the most all the time. So he was slowly changing over time. Like I said, Void is our do what you like with this person in terms of design kind of thing. He's still got the white gloves on. I'm not entirely sure if he does lose the white gloves now, unless that was just a thought that occurred to me, and I wanted to give him purple gloves, but I never did. I don't know. We'll have to find out. I don't know if he's got purple gloves right now or still white. I could just be completely, that one might have been just a thought, and then I didn't do it. Who knows? Don't ask me. I don't look at his gloves. Trust you to be the observant one, or lack thereof. So yeah, that's why we're having this match, and I thought Manic is like the street fighting type character, so let's put him in the favoritism match of no holds barred, and go for it. Have a bit of fun at the start of this show, because I always say my matches aren't the start of the show all the time. I would just say, let me have my match, and then we can officially kick off the show, and everything is cool. I don't think I see action again until... I never see action again, and technically until No Way Out, in terms of in-ring action, and even that wasn't much. I think you're right. We might have had a few, Christmas bashes, where you would partake in a match. I think we had one where it was me and Cyrus versus you and Star at some point as a Christmas thing or whatever. But other than that, no. I don't think you got back in the ring again or had in-ring action on a big event until No Way Out. So here's Manic losing some stamina. That's always great. Pacing the match a bit there. So we could have a drink. I just did then. Awkward silence. You know, you're the one who brings it. Well, I apologize. That's a useful piece of info. So yeah, Vengeance. Okay, we're back. We're going a bit slow now. All of a sudden. So when did the idea for Dimension X actually come in? Were you thinking about doing that after this, or when? When? You already know that, but hey, they don't. So I come up with the idea after Summer Strike. We needed more tag teams for SmackDown, and more tag teams were coming in, and I just wanted to make the division really strong, because you know, you don't want to make any division look weak. You don't want any division to look weak. I don't want the women's division to look weak. I didn't want the tag division to look weak. I didn't want the hardcore division to look weak, if that's a division at all. You know, in a Continental Championship, I didn't want to go down. I wanted to keep them being important all the time. Because you do. Because otherwise, you know, you turn into the other company. You turn into that other show. And then it kind of crumbles, and the only important title... I mean, obviously you put the world title and the YouTube title, in our case, on a pedestal. Like, up there. It's always the main event. It's always the last match. It's always the bigger match and the bigger story and whatever. But the other ones need support as well as backup. And I'm always trying to find new ways or continue to keep the other titles relevant. Therefore, I needed more tag teams, and like I said, Marzell, who was back then called Male Tails, and you hate that name, is and Void were not exactly very important. So I said, well, let's make him be useful and have him be a tag team, and to make them even more important, let's just give him the titles, because then they'd have a presence. Instead of just being generic tag team number 5 or whatever. So yeah, and we've got other official tag teams nowadays. We've got the Retro Warriors, which is Wario and Bomberman, and you know, the Simpsons Clan, which was well, we used to have that, but that was Homer and Lisa, which was a actual follow-up tag team from Retro ASF. Yeah, so I wanted just to make more tag teams and not make the numbers dwindle, and I'm hoping never that Dimension X will break up, ever. And, you know, it always saddens me when a tag team does break up, but then I try to focus them more on a singles line and make sure they still remain important. You know, like they haven't split up and now everyone's going to forget them. You know, maybe Homer in this case suffered from that once... him and Lisa split up, but you know, Lisa got the spotlight because now she's the women's champion in this current time. So you know, I try not to take away from anything, and if I do, I make a positive out of it in any way I can see fit. So yeah, hell, Homer and Lisa wasn't actually a planned split up, but I didn't want that split up to happen. That's why probably I have given Lisa the Women's Championship. But we'll talk about that at ASIF, won't we? Yes, we will. According to you, we will anyway. So here's next coming up the Women's Championship match, which is a Extreme Rules Fatal 4-Way. We're just going mad. But yeah, this is once again me saying about keeping the divisions strong, and this was a really good way. I think we're using the majority of the female cast of SmackDown in this match right now. But hey, yeah, I've forgotten what was all the storylines involved in this one, if there were any at all. But I think there was one between Sonya and Amy, I think. And certainly we're following on from Rouge and Cream at Judgment Day, so we're just following on from that one. But we didn't make this an elimination match. It's just first of all to a finish. That makes it more suspenseful of who's going to win. And of course, the big shock comes of who does win in this, because I have remembered it is Cream going over in this match and winning the women's championship and carrying on for a little bit after that, and then with Amy to follow on, because her and Cream and Amy go over to Raw, but we'll talk about why that was in the draft. I like coming up with things to talk about that we can't talk about yet. Oh, I'm just making hype for the other things to come, I suppose. Yeah, just tell everyone that. But Rouge obviously separated. Or Rouge got separated from the women's championship, I should say. So she couldn't fight for it anymore. So therefore, let's make another tag team. Let's make it with Samus. Actually, wasn't my idea, that one. That was someone else's, and it wasn't yours either. I was thinking of doing it, but then I went, nah, and then someone just forced me and said that would make sense, and I'm like, yeah, it would. Fuck, let's do it. So what have we got? Sonya. Yeah, we don't utilise Sonya very much anymore. Like I said, keep her around to do these family storylines and stuff. Even though She-Manic and Sonic are now on a different show from each other. But hey, they can always get involved. Anything can happen in the ASF, oh yes. We're trying to keep it like that. So was Amy a heel in this match? Yeah, I think she was. Because she was still, she wasn't in the Sonic DX team and she wanted to be. And that's why she was getting jealous of Sonya. That was the story. Because she was, so let the maiming begin between the girls. If who should be in the Sonic DX team, and then we just put both the matches together and said, Fatal 4-Way, go nuts. That's why we made Cream the favourite to have an Extreme Rules match as her match, because we could say Cream goes extreme, it's got a ring to it. So that was this was the origin of that. As well. You got to love making people or characters that are good characters or good guys in their universe, so to speak, but then making them heels in a wrestling environment and seeing their characters in a whole new light, saying, wow, they really could be complete assholes. And vice versa, making bad guys from video games who are bad guys, and making them good guys. We've done that with you now. You used to be a bad guy, but now you're turning more babyface-ish. Yeah, I am, and I'm trying to reflect that. Because back then I was just trying to talk nonsense, getting, trying to copy the old-time greats being heel commentators. And we know who I'm talking about there. No, not Jerry. No, don't turn into him. He's just an idiot. At least you have valid statements to make. Well, I'm still trying to retain kind of like a heel personality still when it comes to who should win and who should lose, because you're supposed to be automatically biased towards the face. So I'm trying to still be in there for heel characters for support of them, but not all the time. I mean, most of the time now we're agreeing with each other when it comes to the faces, but I always try and get that little bit in there where, we're talking about the heel should win, or the heel gets rights, or why are they doing this, or to the heel character. So yeah, but yeah, I have my characters turn face. Nice burp. Thank you. That's my input. I turn heel, I turn face, and then I burp. So this was definitely something nice for Sonya to do, because ever since we lost her from this faction that was formed, she's like I mentioned, not doing much, and I want to involve her in more. And we do have something for her planned coming up. So yeah, look forward to that. Something big about for Sonia to be doing when we come back, or eventually after a few shows' time. I don't think we kick off straight away with it, do we? Depends on what you're talking about. Now we got a big thing planned for Sonia when we come back, which will eventually all kick in. I want to involve as many characters. It's our biggest show to come up, and I want to get it done. I really want to do it, and it will be done. And I want it to have so much different build and trying to encompass every single person that we have on the roster on it. Because hey, why not? The more the merrier, as they say, as quoted by someone. By someone. Oh, is that the end of that one? Right, cool. We're about halfway home now. We're on part 4 of 7. So yeah, got another. Hang on, let me do the math. Yeah, about another 4 parts. That took you long enough. Yeah, sorry, I'm trying to think about other things rather than math problems. Well, we were talking about finishing moves, weren't we? And I guess I could say the reason why, we already said why Amy has her finishing moves. Cream, I never officially gets a real good finishing move. She just has pinning moves, like this powerbomb right here that she's going to win with. Sonia's got she spins around a lot, like in a tornado style. So I said Tajiri's spin kick would look really good on her. The buzzsaw kick, and we call it the Sonia spin kick. That'd be good. So that's her finishing move, and I think we mentioned Rouge with her kick. So yeah, but Cream never got an official. Never has and never probably will. Get a proper finishing move. We don't even have any names for it, I don't think. Unless I'm very much mistaken and I've just forgotten. I'll have to look back at some shows with Cream and see if I've ever enhanced a finishing move for her when she does one. I think she's got one from the top rope, which is like a Hurricanrana or a Dragon Rana kind of move when she lands on him from the top rope, and we call it the Creamy Go Round, I believe. Just to be stupid. Yeah. I don't think we make her utilise that move anymore because she's a heel, which is surreal enough in itself, but hey, having a move called Creamy Go Round and you're a heel, it doesn't really work. Oh no, Billy still hasn't got his stripe on. Because here we are with our next match for the tag titles. Billy and Mandy are going to defend against Tails and this mystery opponent, who we all know who it is, unless you haven't watched. Because otherwise we're going to be spoiling some more. But in any case, I'm about to reveal it right now, so stop and go watch if you haven't. Otherwise, it's Knuckles. Yeah, we put a lot of focus on those two in the early days. Like you said, they needed that push, and now they're big time people. Apart from Mandy, but like I said, we're treating her like she's the John Cena of the WWE. We're always kind of like have her in some kind of important role or some important thing. I mean, if you didn't see the mascot Rumble, then she's still got an important presence about her, even to this day. So that's what we're all trying to push here. So try and get Mandy and Knuckles on as many shows as possible. And we said, well, seeing as Mandy can show up on Raw, let's make Knuckles show up on a SmackDown show. And also for seeing it as it was Mandy going after Knuckles' Money in the Bank contract thing, then we can have Knuckles go after Mandy's tag team title. Of course, they both retain to make it fair, but then we have a title change on one of the SmackDown shows. Yeah, because Tails gets the services of Manic afterwards. because that was our push straight away, give them the tag team titles. I didn't even foresee the storyline between him and Manic at this point. So that was oddly prepared, and it's become one of the biggest storylines now of the entire show, between Tails and Manic. But I didn't actually foresee it happening, or at this point anyway. Because, like I said, the draft was coming up, and we were still sketchy about who was going where. So, until the draft, and I didn't know what was going to happen at all in terms of as many storylines as we were going to have. I just knew that I needed to keep things alive and make sure that we had tag teams coming over and everything like that, or tag teams forming, and try and put. We had a bit of awkwardness over the women's division because we didn't have many women on Raw, because that's where the title went to. So we had problems with that, which I got clumsy about, which I wish I didn't. And I wish I'd said other things otherwise at that point and made other decisions. But yeah, what can you do? Not a lot in that instance. So here's Knuckles coming out and shocking everyone, so to speak, even though we were giving several hints that Mandy knew him very well. And so who else could it be is the person she's currently rivaling against, so to speak, which is Knuckles. Billy still hasn't got his stripe. When does he get his stripe? Ugh. It's been 3 shows since that, and he still hasn't got it. Or it just hasn't loaded. Yeah, but Tails is one and Knuckles is one is working, and they're paint tools as well, so I don't know. So we haven't given him his stripe yet. So he still looks like Colin Federline from behind. Oh God. So yeah. So this was I think Tails is still being a heel technically around this point, because the Sonic DX team. Well, let's just say the Sonic DX team was highly controversial because they had a mixture. I think Manic was being a face, and Tails was being a bit of a tweener here. But Billy and Mandy were the heel tag team here, if you can believe that. But certainly in Mandy's case, it was the heel team. I don't know how popular Billy was at the time, but he probably wasn't as popular as he maybe is now. In terms of how much comedic effort we were putting into him. Yeah, Knuckles and Tails were definitely the babyface tag team here in this one. And I'm still using the old tag format of being one person, because hence why we got the stretched out view of the ring, because I'm playing as Mandy. Which is why Billy isn't acting like what he should do, which is all crazy and everything, and running around everywhere. I don't know if people find that funny or not. Can people tell me if you actually find that amusing or funny, or because it's the only thing I can make him do that's hilarious is run around everywhere and do stupid things and wave at people. But I don't know if that's necessarily completely funny. Nice one there, Knuckles, using Billy as the knock Mandy off the apron there. Yeah, I guess this was a more serious Billy. He needs to be, because he's a heel and he's defending a tag team title. So it all helps with the tag team division, that the champions are actually being a team or whatever and being serious about it, whereas now not so much. With Billy with Grimm, which is a much better tag team in my view, because they kind of suit each other better than Mandy being with Billy, oddly enough. Even though they're on the same show with each other all the time, but they're definitely just, when it comes to wrestling, their split personalities doesn't really mix. There should be a team breaking up, not one united, if anything. So it just didn't work, but yeah. Like you said, we needed to give Mandy a championship run of some kind that didn't make her seem like a big deal at first. Or make it a big deal at first that she has a championship, because it's the focus on the team rather than the individual. So that's why we're doing this right now. I do like the amount of tags we get out of this match, I will say. Yeah, because sometimes we have a team which doesn't do a tag at all, you know, and it's kind of weird just seeing the other person on the apron not contributing to the match unless there's a pin to break up or a submission to break up or whatever. I'm enjoying Tails trying to punch you there. Yeah, he's being a bit dunce. I do hate that they try to do that and instead they don't come into the ring and stomp you instead. I mean, clearly it isn't working with these punches. So think harder, AI, think harder. I know you do sometimes, but you're not thinking now when it matters. I do hate it sometimes when the AI, I've noticed when you try and throw someone onto the announce table with an Irish whip. Oops, hang on, I'll continue that in a minute. So yeah, as I was saying, I do hate it when you try and get someone on the announce table with an Irish whip, but they counter it, and then you end up on the table instead. But then the computer just has a habit of walking towards the announce table without getting on top of it. And it's really annoying when you're recording something like that and the match has been awesome so far, or reasonably good, or you have a good ending to it, and you have that thing happen in it. It is a bit, you know, takes away. And we've got to try and, you know, just bring a humorous side to it and break the fourth wall as always when they do that. So that's one thing I hate about the AI doing that. And never in the other instance, you know, just when they counter throwing on the announce table, they do that. And sometimes, I don't know what happens sometimes, but some people don't even manage to roll onto the announce table. They just kind of roll, but they don't land on the table, they just land on the side still. It's like, what the hell's going on there? We're trying to do a table spot here and you're not going on the table. So yeah, that's all a bit weird when things like that happen, but they can't be controlled or anything, and if the rest of the match was reasonably good or has a good ending or whatever, then it's going to be left in at the end of the day, and we're just going to have to make a funny remark about it. But I really do hate when that happens, like really, when I'm recording it, it's like, ugh, not this again. You know, visible frustration on my face. Probably. No one's actually watched me do any of these. Because it's best for if Eggman here doesn't see what I'm doing in advance. Yeah, because that way I get the natural reaction just like everyone else does of what's going to happen. So it adds to it when it actually does happen. You know, it's hard to get excited for a video game myself, but hey, it's always better that's probably why it's better for me to know or not know what's going to happen, because it becomes a little bit more exciting for me than, I don't know how you people finding it exciting, but hey, I shouldn't be taking away from your experience. You know, you're going to enjoy what you're going to enjoy. And I'm sure, and I know a lot of people who do enjoy the ASF and still do, and still wish it was around, but hey, it is coming back. So that's a good thing, right? Very much so. At least one would hope. I'm looking forward to doing it again. Because, you know, there is that gap. I feel like I could be doing the ASF for some time afterwards, even. Because, you know, it's just, if you're that big of a wrestling fan and you're running technically your own wrestling show, it's kind of fun in that sense. You know, it's like being your own, it's like being the general manager, like in general manager mode on some of the games that we've had. You know, just having your own organization that actual people are watching. It's just a great feeling, and you always want to come back to it, you know, no matter what, because it's just fun to do, and you know, the rewards are just as good in some ways, in some way, shape or form. As hard as it is doing it, you know, you get the rewards and the benefits, and we've got all these videos now on YouTube up that I've put so much work into, or at least attempted to put a lot of as much work as I possibly can into each and individual one. You can look back and you can say, you've done it. And it's very rewarding in a sense, especially if it does become popular. It becomes more rewarding in a sense. I keep saying I'd still do it no matter the viewership, because I would. But it's nice to get viewership, because then it makes the show feel like it's that much more important and relevant, and you're doing it more for them than you are for yourself, in a sense. So getting the errors of my ways teached, I suppose. Now we're all going nuts in this tag team match. Everyone's in, and Tell's going to do an awesome German suplex from the top rope. We haven't seen him do that very often, but he has it. A nice little double team from Billy and Mandy there. Yeah, I'm glad how this match turned out. It was quite a nice long tag team match. We got enough attention on Knuckles and Mandy at the end of the day, which is what we needed. And another double team, hooray! I do like it when double teams get pulled off, because it always shows that the team is in tune with each other, and they're a proper team. It makes the tag teams have that much of a presence as a team and as a cohesive unit, as you'd call it. So more double team moves, the better. Even though there's a limit of the amount of double team moves on this game, just seeing them on occasion is always a good thing. Even if it's repeats of what they were. But hey, that's all good in my view, because you see repeats of double team moves anyway in reality. So it's always the tag team doing the same move or the same finishing tag team move or whatever. So it works. It works. Right. I think this is Mandy, yes, winning. So yeah, I think that was the original. That was definitely the intention. Mandy needs to get the titles retained, and she needs to pin Tails, not Knuckles. Because if she pins Knuckles, then we can't continue the rivalry as much as we could, because they technically still haven't earned a victory over each other. Like we said, they were fully protected of bad blood with the extra 2 opponents being added, which Mandy was unprepared, and Knuckles was just trying to fend for his Money in the Bank contract, which he did, instead of focusing on Mandy. So I said, yeah, Mandy definitely needs to pin Tails in this match, and that's what happened, luckily. So that was the original finish that we were going to do, and we did it. Yawning too much, so that the rivalry can continue. And hey, we're already at the main event. Would you know it? Well, like I said, this event isn't that long. This match is fairly good. Yeah, I actually do love this match. This match is awesome, because these two, like I said, have a lot of stats about them. They're well built up. Astrov's clearly better than the Sonic in attributes and everything, but they're still very both high on attributes, on the attribute scale. And it definitely showed in this match, and it was awesome, and I loved it. And this is the first time we've effectively used the 20 count in a game. I don't think any other place, unless I'm very much mistaken, because obviously I haven't scanned around, because I don't tend to look for others, but this is probably a rare example of us utilizing the 20 count for ring out counts instead of 10. Because I always wondered why it had a 20 count there, and I thought it must be a way that we can utilize that for a storyline. And I thought, well, this is awesome. Why don't we use it for this match? And we can say, the referee was also pretty hyped about this match and wanted it to continue until we had a definite winner. So we made him count over the 10 mark, just because. And then, of course, Cyrus being the guy who was in charge, as in the authority or whatever, he would come out on SmackDown and say, I'm not agreeing with the referee's terms, and technically Sonic was out at the count of 10, and so he shouldn't have won the championship in the first place, so therefore the champion is still Astrof, and it continued that storyline between him and Sonic while it still lasted before the draft, and then we had the whole Mario versus Sonic thing, because Sonic was just outraged at Cyrus, and Mario was getting all the decent treatment, or whatever, even though we haven't seen him very much on the show. But then again, it's like Mario makes a special appearance every now and then, and he's treated like gold, and Sonic is there all the time, utilising that kind of method. So he should get the better treatment, when it's like, no, you shouldn't, because you suck. Mario's the legend here, not you. So that's why we put him on a pedestal and not you. There's the end of that one. So yeah, so that's where all that came from. So this is, I reckon I'll go on the record as saying that this is actually my favourite match from Vengeance, or at least when we were just starting. This is one of my favourite matches, and I'm glad it turned out the way it did, because I hyped it up so much. And there you go, the first move is like a Samoan drop from the top rope, I think I called it, but it's actually an angle slam. But hey, we're not gonna mention that. It's just pretend it's a Samoan drop from the top. And look at this, I love this. Just Sonic against the ropes, and Astrof's just going pow in the face, pow in the face, pow in the face. Yeah, I definitely loved the way this match was presented and paced and everything. It turned out really well. So I congratulate you on that front. Thank you. Yeah, I definitely loved doing this match. There's a lot of matches with Astrof that I actually loved doing, despite how powerful the character was compared to others. He has pulled off some really, really good matches. I do like the Soul Calibur Rules match between him and Nightmare. I do like the championship match between him and Bart at No Mercy. God, I fucking love that match. And I do... and what other matches have we had? I do love the tag team title match, ASIF, with Astrof in it. And Astrof's comeback at the Rumble. I love that too. So there's a lot of good things I love about Astrof from this point on. The match he had with the Cyrus robot after this at Summer Strike was it was okay, but I wasn't trying to make it a focal point. It was a last man standing match, I believe. But yeah, it was not exactly one that I planned out to be huge, because of course it's just the Cyrus robot. That match was just filler. But we'll talk more about that once again at Summer Strike, which will be the next event to come up that we talk about, which will be coming up on on Thursday. So next Thursday we'll be talking about Summer Strike. And here we are. Here's the action to the outside. Astrof does the Astrof bomb on the outside here. And Sonic, referee's up to 6, now 7. Sonic is still out on the floor. We're going to go 9, and then 10, and the match isn't over yet. And we're all like, what? And we're all like, I guess the referee just wants this match to have a definitive end. So therefore he's waiting for Sonic just to get back in the ring and just continuing his count. To prompt Sonic to get the fuck back up and get back in the ring. So that was the point where that was the twist that would decide the fate of the storyline later on. Is that piece of footage right there you just saw, if you're watching it. So yeah. And we really put emphasis on the fact that the referee was having a more than a 10 count, because we did a lot of outside the ring stuff. Because hey, that's what makes a good championship match, is if you try and mix in different elements into a match and make it more fascinating to watch. Like, where is the referee doing this? Can he do this? Can he get away with it? And plus, with the ending on top, with Astrof doing so many different powerful moves, and Sonic is still like kicking out of the moves like properly, in game properly, rather than me just saying, "Oh look, he kicked out and I picked up his head," because that's the animation you do if you break up a pin, is you lift their shoulders. You know, if you lift their head from the mat, therefore lifting their shoulders off the mat, and that's the animation for stopping a pin in this game. It's not a kick out. So all of these kickouts are official and real from this video game, which makes it absolutely amazing. And I was shocked enough, you know, the performance, because I forget who I'm playing as here. It's probably Astroth, so I was saying, you know, is he going to kick out now? And I'm like, yes, he is, thank you, let's just keep going. So this match turned out to be a complete dream when it came to recording it. Because Sonic just kept kicking out of stuff. And it was amazing. And then, ironically enough, he beat Astroth on Smashdown with the People's Elbow, in this case the Supersonic Elbow. And that's exactly the way it finished. Either that was a decision by me, because I decided to not press any buttons after the pin, because it was just fitting that Sonic would win after the Supersonic Elbow drop again as a repeat performance, you know, and everyone would think, wow, Sonic is the new champ, only for us to say, no he ain't. Because Sarah said this, that and the other about the referee's 10 count. So yeah, loved it. Loved the build-up, loved the match, and loved the aftermath. It was just awesome. One of the best moments I've had for making the show. One of the best earliest moments I can recall of making the show was this match and everything that revolved around it, I should say. So yeah, I love the hell out of this. This was awesome. Yeah, we can do that chant. This is awesome, because it was. And Sonic was definitely a legitimate threat to Astroth, so we're glad it worked out that way. And then everyone was thinking the titles changed hand, Astroth no longer the champ. And, you know, nope, that's not the way it goes. Astroth is still the dominating, powerful champion as he should be. And he only lost through a referee's mistake or a decision or whatever, which shouldn't have gone down officially. You know, because Astroth was doing all the right moves of getting Sonic outside the ring and getting him out there. You know, that was to show that he was already threatened by Sonic's presence as well, was the fact that, you know, he was trying to get the count-out victory on top of that. Instead of trying to pin him like he does traditionally, to kick his opponent's asses or whatever. So, you know, that was already that was part of it. Showing that Astroth actually is showing a bit of fear here. This is a fake kick-out moment right here, because the animation for this, you can, I guess, pass off as a kick-out, just a barely kick-out, because I didn't obviously want that to be the finish. So I was just hoping every time I did an Astroth bomb post this point, was a legitimate kick-out. And luckily it was, and it ended perfectly, and I'm just like, mwah, mwah, mwah. I love it. Yeah, it's always a blessing when you get a match like this in a video game, because from the knowledge that you've told me, you don't get that very often, but in this video game in particular, you get some spectacular moments of people kicking out of finishing moves and whatever. It's Sonic trying to finish me off with the rock bottom, but not succeeded, luckily, because I didn't want the match going like that. I was saying, wouldn't it be perfect if he did the supersonic elbow drop move on me, and then went for a pin? That would be absolutely perfect, and he did, and I just went, yeah, fuck it, I'm staying down. This is the end. It's good enough. So yeah, really, really happy about that. Just in general, everything was awesome about it. Is Sonic with a submission move, the almost got a tap out victory here from the sharpshooter. That's the move I was thinking of. Glad you remembered, because I don't. Yeah, right. You're lying about that, that's for sure. Maybe I am. So Astrov's utilising the time here to do a bit of recovery. So we're trying to make Astrov a little bit out of character here, like acting a little different towards Sonic. Because like I said, let's make Sonic seem a much more legitimate threat. And, make Astrov fear him in a sense. And again, the referee is going over the 10 once again, and Astrov is in the ring. So Sonic should have technically lost by now. This was the referee was playing by the rules. I was starting to get a little bit worried, if you noticed there, because the referee was slowly getting to 20. I was just edging a little bit towards the referee, just saying, please don't do the count out of the 20. That would be terrible. Luckily, Sonic got back in at the count of 18, though, luckily enough. Here's an Irish whip finisher by Astrov, or there was going to be. I think the Irish whip move that I gave Astrov as a finisher, I think the move is referred to Amazing Impact, which no one's ever heard of before, I'm sure. But hey, you know what the move looks like if you remember. It's just Astrov picking them up in the air and then slamming them down on their face on the canvas from an Irish whip position. Which does look very painful indeed. It looks like amazing. Here's me going straight for a pin after an Astrov bomb, and here's Sonic kicking out. Hooray! There we go. I was thinking that moment was awesome because the panic of Astrov being displayed there, just going straight for a pin after the Astrov bomb straight away, and Sonic still kicking out. It's like, frustration set in for Astrov. Here's another Astrov bomb for Sonic. This time I'm going to stall for the pin, but I still pin a little bit afterwards anyway. And Sonic still kicks out. Awesome. Lovely, I'm going. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Keep it going. So yeah, we've got about another 3 minutes of this. So we're definitely nearing the end of this match. But hey, what a match this turned out to be. I just loved every minute of it. And the pacing and how everything played out, it was just perfect. Just friggin' perfect. Definitely an early example there of an awesome ASF match in the early days. Even if we weren't capable of calling it as great as we could do now, it was still a great match. And no one can deny that, seeing as you know now how perfect it actually was. On all the levels. I'm sure it was entertaining just to watch in itself, because of course you don't know the outcome, and who's going to win. And Astrov seems to be having trouble here. Is Sonic going to win the title? And and all that garbage and gubbins that comes with it. So yeah, just to show, I think Cyrus made the Cyrus robot face Astrov just to also kick off make Sonic really mad, because Cyrus just gives the robot a championship match, yet he's had to earn it and everything, and he hates doing that, as we know, as current comedic Sonic is going, saying that he's the undisputed champion and he deserves all these championship matches and everything. So it's an early incarnation of that for sure. And then it just bastardized itself, and then finally Sonic has turned into more of a comedic effort than a serious one, as it was back here. One last thing I can mention, there's another referee going over the 10 count. That was a bit accidental, but hey, it's all good. Last thing I can say was, of course, there was issues with Mandy's voice actor, we can say. So that's why we were making the decision that you were going to be the manager, Eggman, of Mandy, because then you could be her mouthpiece, because she can't talk anymore now because we've lost the voice. I mean, she just didn't want to do it anymore. Which is fair enough. I mean, if anyone wants to butt out, then they're welcome to, and if they want to join, then they're welcome to. I love the contribution, but I don't mind if you don't want to do it. That's not my problem. I can sort it out another way, and we did. Because you became the mouthpiece for her, which is all the more better. Which is you actually hated because you didn't like the idea in the first place. Now you've got to push her a bit extra. So yeah, there's Sonic winning the championship finally after the elbow. Just the way it was intended. Oh, why am I yawning so much? Oh, it's a Sunday. I guess I'm entitled to yawn. You go ahead and do that. Yeah, I didn't like the idea of having to support Mandy extra on what I've been doing already. But hey, sometimes you get given a job you don't like doing, but you stick to it because it's necessary, because he told you so. Anyway, yeah, thanks all so much for watching or listening or whatever. This is we've covered pretty much the whole of Vengeance and what took place and everything, and some fascinating details about everything, I'm sure. So thanks all so much for watching or listening. And we'll see you again on I believe it's Sunday. That's one last thing I'd like to bring up, is that's the first time we've used the end of show logo for the show. The ASF logo flashing by. It's a bit slower nowadays. That was just a quick flash, but yeah, that's the first time I've seen it being utilised, because the show has been ending off just with a black screen or whatever, or with a fade out. But now we've got the ASF logo flashing by. So yeah, as you can see, the show is still growing constantly, and we're finding our comfort zones and how to present the show and everything still. But yeah, so with that point said, we're going to call it a day here. We'll see you all again on Thursday for Summer Strike. Oh yeah, I don't even know how long that is. It could be astronomically long, because there's a lot of matches on there. But we'll see, won't we? We will see how Summer Strike goes, and we'll see you all then. So adios amigos, goodbye. Yes, goodbye. Ah, dear. Yeah.